Is La La Land based on a true story? Is that even a legitimate question to ask about a movie where people break into song and dance in the middle of traffic? Absolutely yes. Am I clickbaiting you for views right now? Of course I am. Everybody I would never do that. It's winning bigly. Never been to a Trader Joe's. It's unbelievable. It seems like a preposterous question, but when I went to see La La Land, one of my friends told me the story of how Emma Stone is, pouring her heart out in tears, the whole 9 yards, and she's auditioning, and then they walk in and are like, oh, you're worthless.
In 2 minutes?
Less than 2 minutes.
I'll go get your lunch.
I'm almost done. Thank you. Oh, you know what? I think we're good. Thanks for coming in.
That those are actually based on true stories of Emma Stone. Then I got on IMDb and I realized that the story supposedly actually comes from Ryan Gosling, but it's unverified, who cares, but it got me thinking. Could this be based on a true story? Or more specifically, could this be based on true stories? Why would I think that in the first place? Well, there's a bunch of things in the movie that strike me as very much real life and seem like things that have either happened to me or to somebody I know, in particular because you got the story of a struggling actress and a struggling musician, 2 stories that I've both either lived or watched personally. As far as the struggling musician goes, I went to music college. I wanted to be a rock star pretty much my entire life, and yeah, that's a rough life, and yeah, it involves a lot of compromise, and it involves a lot of hard work, and a lot of times you're just not good enough, or there's 1,000 other people that can do your job. So that seems like real life, right? Poor Seb, Except for not poor Seb, because he makes it and lands in a sweet band with John Legend. What about Mia? Okay, her situation seems like real life to me as well. You show up to about 1,000 auditions, if you can, open casting calls, people spill coffee on you, you're fairly well disrespected, and generally speaking, you're just working at a cafe, hoping that something works out. And as far as I'm concerned, that's just the story of Los Angeles. Anybody who's ever moved here for similar reasons to that of either Seb or Mia knows exactly what they're going through and exactly what it's like in real life. Ryan Gosling, part of the Mickey Mouse Illuminati. No, but seriously, think about it. You've got Justin, you've got Ryan Gosling, you've got Christina, you've got Brittany. There's no way they came up with all that without signing some kind of secret pact with the devil. Pretty sure. Ryan Gosling, right? Kind of a child star, little Canadian boy, and then moves here to LA in order to sort of try and make it, but then real life happens and that's hard. In the movie, I think that these characters are experiencing real life. First of all, you've got traffic, especially if you move here as an artist, you know what it's like. You have to go to parties and try and network with people, and everybody's willing to be like, bro, I got this thing, it's gonna be big. Yeah, I got a script, and it's a big deal. Yeah, no, you're gonna love it. Have you met Jerry? Jerry's a great guy. No, this is really turning into something big. No, these guys are great. Did I say this was big? Did I say that already? Did you meet Jerry? Jerry's got a script too. You gotta read his script. Yeah, I know this guy and he's friends with this dude, and his cousin tells me that Robert Redford's really interested in my stuff. He saw my stuff. Everybody hey, you gotta see my stuff. It's gonna be huge. This is ridiculous. Or at the very least, it's your Uber driver who's like, hey, have you read my script? That's real life. Another thing that made me sort of think, hey, this definitely seems like real life, is where they chose to shoot the movie. This movie seems like it wasn't mostly filmed on closed sets, but was actually just filmed on the streets of LA. I've lived here for about a year and I recognize most of the locations just from being around. Granted, you would never get into Griffith Observatory by yourself. Think about it. You've got the tiny apartments, you've got the traffic. My favorite part is they're singing and dancing on top of that hill where they're kind of just met each other after the party. That sunset on top of the hill is any hill in Hollywood or the San Gabriels or anywhere in LA. But undoubtedly, to me, the most realistic part is actually the singing and dancing. Why? If you move to LA as an artist, you have got to do it with rose-colored glasses on, because if you don't have the kind of hope and the kind of optimism that you see in these characters in this movie, you're not gonna make it. You really are better off working just a normal day job, and there's nothing wrong with that. It's its own grand adventure to live a life that not everybody knows about anyway. But the truth is, if you're a musician or an actor or some kind of artist, you need to be able to see the world in such a way that when you go on a first date, you can kind of drift off into space and dancing and singing singing together, because life is hard, but that can't keep you from having the kind of joy and the kind of imagination that makes it beautiful. That's why my favorite line in the movie is Emma Stone singing, "Here's to the ones who dream, as foolish as they may seem," because I'm a professional daydreamer, I know what that's like, and to me that is real life. That's a true story. That's my true story. But that brings me to the other best line in the movie, said by Gosling. This is the dream. It's conflict and it's compromise and it's very, very exciting. So the truth is, La La Land isn't based on a true story, it's based on true stories. Even the part where Mia has her script and it's getting rejected and all that kind of stuff, of course that's real life, but even for Damien Chazelle, the guy who wrote this movie, he wrote La La Land in 2010 and it got rejected dozens of times, and one time that it actually got accepted, it was like $1 million offer, so he just shelved it. In other words, the overarching story of the movie isn't one whole story, it's actually just an amalgamation of smaller true stories from war. That, my friends, that is real life, because that's how we tell all of our own stories. And that's exactly what La La Land is. It's a series of smaller true stories based in reality. So, is La La Land based on a true story? No, but it is based on true stories. They've always got the sunglasses on. Okay. It's winning bigly. Trader Joe's is the best.